Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. Y'all. I don't know, all of a sudden all this emotion just hit. I asked what we're going to be talking about, and what I heard is old world is crumbling. The old world, the world as we know it, it's crumbling, it's fallen apart. And I think we're going to find that in today's conversation, there's going to be quite a sense of a need to grieve, right? This grief that's been building up that we haven't been willing to acknowledge. It's probably been building up for the last, I don't even know how long. But it's just a very tangible, very recognized sense of grief. I'm so in Piscean waters right now. It's so emo. What is going on? Ew. I don't like emotion like this. I'm like so bipolar. Pisces sun, Capricorn moon, fighting with myself about emotions. A whole song, right? Have you been fighting with yourself about the emotions that are coming through? Have you been feeling tremendous amounts of emotion, don't quite know what to do with it, right? You don't quite know what to do with it. Well, we can figure it out, okay? We're going to figure it out. Here goes. Let me just turn off the sound for everything. I don't want to be distracted. Just breathing it out. Just breathing it out. Okay, here goes. Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Okay, everything is happening exactly as it's meant to. Oh my God. I'm just going to pull 2 more cards because your girl can't. Okay, it's going to come to an end. Oh. Y'all, this is intense. Right off the bat, this is an extremely intense amount of information coming through. So right now, there's a lot of upside down magic being utilized. If you were on the TikTok live stream last night, you heard me talking about all of these different things that are really, really intense, mind-boggling type information. And then today I was, doom scrolling like I do every morning on TikTok. And I came across information. It has to do with maps. And it really got the ball rolling for my thoughts. And my curiosity really kicked up several notches. And that upside down magic card is really confirmation. As this old world that we have been living in has begun to crumble, right? It's falling apart. It's coming apart at the seams. And what's happening is these oligarchs, old families. I'm told not to say it that way. Well, how would I say it? Humanoids who have been in control. Humanoids who have been in control through many generations are losing their grip in so many different layers and levels of the meaning of the phrase losing your grip. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and the things that are going on are really things that are rooted in a very dense, very deep, very dark, extremely sinister, malignant magic. So how conspiracy theory would it be if we were to begin speculating that a lot of what happened was not just to cover, destroy evidence? What type of evidence? I don't know. I don't know. But how conspiracy would it be if we said that it wasn't just to destroy evidence, but it was a three purpose, three body problem? So, destruction of evidence. A sacrifice based in fire. What would the third one be? A portal open to allow an ancient through. That's a three body problem. That's a three body big back problem. I'm told to show you guys an image. Where is it at? Come on, don't play games. Don't play hard to find. All right, hold on. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to show you guys this image. Oh, I got to turn on my Wi-Fi so that I can airdrop it to myself. Okay. Ba-da-da-da. Here goes. Let me open this up. This is a still of a video that I downloaded. I downloaded it. Okay. Y'all, I have something like, I don't know, 12,000 videos on my phone. Yeah, just about 12,000 videos, just about 40,000 photos. What are these photos of? Workout videos and screenshots of random ass stuff. Okay, let me show this on the screen. I know it's better than having nothing but kitty videos and kitty memes, which a couple years ago, that's what my terabyte was about. And now it's more educational stuff. So Michael goes educational. Workout videos are educational. Anyways, here, look at this. 3 fires, 1, 2, and 3, all started simultaneously. What are the odds? I should just show you guys the whole video. Hold on. Der girlfriend. She my girlfriend. Let me show you the whole video. I'm not going to talk about it in depth here, simply because I'm not about that life. I kind of am, but I'm not. No, if I talk about it in depth here, YouTube will clamp down on my channel again. Not that I'm out of the mother frickin' shadow ban that I've been in since 2018, bitches. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not tripping. I kind of am, but I'm not. Okay, so look at this, okay? Look at this. This is, I downloaded this from Red Pill Slinger. Red Pill Slinger. Okay, what's up, Red Pill? Okay, let me stop messing around. Here, look at this. Satellite footage. How them hell they gonna start at the same time? I mean, unless this is like some AI stuff, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, this, if y'all can find out what the center point is, oh, and there's a mark right there. Hold up. X marks the spot. Bitch, I didn't even notice that earlier. Bitch. Mihai. Okay, we'll talk about it later. This is the entry point. Wherever this is, it's the entry point. And then I want you guys, I'm gonna give you guys some homework. I'm gonna give you guys some homework because guess what? Go ahead and look at the lineup between Asheville, North Carolina, North Carolina, and Pacific Palisades, as well as Maui. Look at it on a map. Look at it on a map and see the way it lines up. What is happening? Some upside down magic is what's happening. Carrying forward. So, old world is crumbling. Your dedication to your health and your growth is being heavily tested right now. Heavily, heavily, heavily tested. You're being tested by way of fear. For many people, when you enter into a space of fear, oftentimes you lose track and completely ignore all of these things that you were working on. Now you're in survival mode. And as you're in that survival mode, you're not working on healing. You're simply trying to get through the fear of what's happening in the right now. The old world is crumbling. And it is a process that is going to be challenging for most people. Probably not the Capricorns. I'm serious. The Capricorns and probably the other earth signs. I don't know about Taurus. The earth signs, they're probably going to be like, okay, this is the change. We need to do whatever it is we need to do. All of the water signs are going to be very deep in their emotions. Are they going to be externally expressing those emotions? It depends what else is in their chart. It depends. So the air signs need to be careful about fanning the flames. And then the fire signs need to also be mindful of unintentionally imploding. Unintentionally imploding. So be very aware of where your emotions are at. The old world is crumbling. We're going to be fine. It's just this thing of witnessing how everything is being deconstructed. A lot of information is going to be pushed out there. I'm probably not going to be the one to share it because that's not what I'm here for. But a lot of information is going to be pushed out there because those who know, those who are the keepers of information, are now going full active, and they're being heavily encouraged by their soul to fulfill their purpose of sharing, disseminating information that we really all need. Okay, we need this information so we can begin really recalibrating the way we see how we fit into this world. I think for some of us, we're going to begin to understand the reason we never fit in was because we were simply waiting for our moment to rightfully stand out. As the old world is crumbling, those who have information that's needing to be shared. And I think it's information that has in real life, tangible, provable type of connectivity. They're going to come front and center and they will be heavily attacked. They will heavily, heavily face scrutiny. If you're one of them, you're strong enough. You've been scrutinized your whole life. You've literally been scrutinized your whole life. You've been judged, scrutinized, verbally, emotionally, intellectually, socially, attacked your entire life. This is your norm. The difference between now and all the other times people did this to you in the past, you've reached a level of maturity that releases you from the heaviness of caring so deeply about things you don't need to care about. Other people's opinions are their opinions. It's not for you to change their stance. It's not your task to try and get people who are incapable of believing what can easily be proven. It's not your job to convince them anymore. Listen, and I hope everyone hears this in the way that I intend. When someone is pretending to sleep, leave them alone. When someone is actively sleeping, let them be. They are in their own cycle, in their own process. Their soul will awaken them and their awareness when it is time. That is not for you to decide. It is for you to simply stand in the light of your truth and speak what your soul has put upon your heart to express. Allow yourself to simply be witness. As this old world crumbles, there are many who are very convoluted in their perception of what their purpose is. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're not evolved. I'm saying they're heavily confused. They bought into the different programs that tell them to step into a messianic level existence. I keep telling you guys, so this is Alchemist in reversed, right? I keep telling you guys, I will never, ever, ever, ever volunteer, self-identify, or allow others to identify me as some type of messiah. Why? Or even a guru. Why? I know what you guys do to messiahs. I know what human cognitive dissonance causes a human being to do to someone else who they've identified as extremely elevated in their divine purpose, in their divine path. Hell, I don't even identify as that. And yet I'm heavily attacked with zero provocation by people I've never even interacted with. This has been the pattern since I've been publicly visible. I'm not talking about, oh, last summer someone tried to pick. No, yo, this is the pattern since I've been publicly visible. And I've always stayed in my lane. I've never tried to force. I've never tried to impress upon another. You are not here to save anyone. You are here to simply exist, allowing yourself to be witnessed, standing, sitting, kneeling in full surrender, bathed by the light of your truth. That is it. That is it, right? Let people do whatever they're going to do, knowing if they decide to fixate on you in a very malignant intention type way, hey, this is an invitation to ripen your understanding of yourself, to ripen your understanding of your journey, your purpose, and how you're going to navigate through all of this. Everything that happens to you, everything that you witness and affects you directly, maybe it's as simple as you witnessing it and it's upsetting. It's going to work in your favor. The old world is crumbling. It's not something that I celebrate. It's not something that I encourage you to celebrate. It's going to be a difficult process for many people, if not most. The old world is crumbling. Why? And some people will misunderstand and they will want to save the old world. Like, we can stop this. We can prevent it from happening. I don't know that you can. Because to do so is to prevent the rest of us from receiving what is rightfully for us. You cannot stop the delivery. And I don't know that you should try. So some people will be like, I mean, why do you say that? Why do you say that? People are going to suffer. You know, why does this have to happen? What are we getting? What's being delivered? What is being brought to us? Well, I think for quite a few of us, what is being brought back is our home, our truth, the actuality of what we, the collective, was gifted by Creator a very long time ago. And we allowed ourselves to be bullied into a space of compliance and smallness so that those who are afraid of the very change that actually creates the pathways for our peace to return, they fought it and we allowed them. They trampled on it and they did all kind of different things to try and hold on, and we allowed them. And now, after living so many lives since then, I think we're done. I think we're just done accommodating the fears and distortions of people who don't understand that what is coming next, and yes, the pathway to receive what is coming next is difficult, challenging, full of grief and adversity for many. But what is coming next is our rightful claim to a peaceful life. I mean, how do you know this? How do you not? Just observe children. What do I mean by that? So look at babies, like young babies. Young babies don't yet have enough command over their emotions, their intellect, or even their body to fit into the program society dictates we all must participate in. So you look at a baby, you take one baby and it's in proximity to another baby who's crying because they're simply letting you know, I have a need that needs to be met. Maybe I have gas. Maybe I just need a diaper change. Maybe starting to feel a little bit hungry and I'm letting you know it's time for me to eat soon. That baby that's crying is simply communicating. It's letting its caregiver know, I have a need. When the other baby who is not crying witnesses that, hears that, what is the most common reaction when one baby hears another baby crying? They cry too. Is it because they're jealous? Is it because they're trying to make it about them? Is it because they're being traumatized? It's because empathy and compassion. We lost that. Somewhere along the way, we lost that. We had that for each other as adults, and we lost it. It was programmed out of our existence. What's coming back is that. The old world must crumble. There's no room for it anymore. This compete, compare program, there's no space for it anymore. None. No space. No space. And the people who are accustomed to thriving in a space of compete, compare, where their insecurities are the very fuel that causes them to be hurtful, harmful, intentionally towards others. Oh, they will try and hold on to it. Too fucking bad. Deal with your traumas so you don't bleed on the rest of us. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not saying they're wicked. I'm saying they're bleeding and they don't know what to do. Let it clot. Put some pressure on yourself. Apply some pressure on your wound. So, what is naturally programmed to help you return back to a state of homeostasis, it can do what it needs to do. For those of you who don't know, part of the reason why we all kind of know that if you have an open wound, if you are bleeding, you apply pressure. You get some type of cloth and you apply pressure. The cloth is to help soak up some of that blood. The pressure is to also help staunch the flow. When you put those two things together, it then creates a field of existence that allows the body to do what it is programmed to do, which is what? Repair itself in order to eventually return back to a space of homeostasis. When you do that, you create a field that then gives the blood, the plasma, an opportunity to clot. That fibrin is a liquid band-aid. When it clots, that's the body's way of stopping the uncontrollable flow of blood. Right? It is not our job to heal everyone. It is not our job to save everyone. It is our obligation to assist when we are asked to assist by our soul. Doesn't make you a bad person to understand and accept. You have a purpose that you're still trying to understand. You're still trying to figure out how you're supposed to function in this world, and that not everyone will receive the deepest parts of you and your capacity to love, because not everyone should. It's about alignment, not lack of worth. It's about alignment. When you extend yourself into spaces that you don't belong and are misaligned, you run the risk of quantum entanglement with their path. That entanglement is what causes you to then begin to experience the potentialities of energy siphoning, the potentialities of destiny swapping. I mean, really, though. Why is it extremely difficult for someone to successfully destiny swap with me? Oh, and I've had quite a few people attempt, like heavily attempt, to do some type of destiny swapping with me. How'd that work out, biatch? Yeah, no, I'm totally antagonistic with people like that. It didn't work because why? I refused to take the invitation. They invited me to quantumly entangle myself. No, thank you. No, thank you. Do you understand the type of germaphobe I am? No STDs, spiritually transmitted disharmony. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, are you talking shit? You go right ahead, baby. You go right and get that off your chest. Release it. Let it out. Showcase to the world just how motherfucking toxic you are, baby boo. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Here's the thing, guys. You defend yourself against the opinions of people who know nothing about you. But I mean, they're claiming, if their accusations and claims have zero merit, none of that will stick. You only speak up for yourself when it's necessary, one time. And that's that. That's that. Because I promise you, the people who had no interest in actually learning the truth, they will continue to justify all the lies being said about you. Those people are not a loss to you. They're part of the old world that is crumbling. That is the old system that pitted us against each other. Someone's having pizza. Who's having pizza? It's like the cheap kind. I love it though. What is it? Like not even DiGiorno. What is that? That it comes in a red box and it's like super thin. It kind of tastes like cardboard. It's frozen. What is that? And the cheese is like chemically, but it's like core memories from childhood. Whoever you are, just babe, that tastes so good. I can't have, no, not Red Baron. Tony's, yes. Tony's pizza. Okay. It's Tony's. You eat whatever you want, babe. I can't eat that. You enjoy yourself. I'll live vicariously through you. Breathe it in. Mash it around your taste buds and just think of me because it's good. So, carrying forward, there's nothing that you need to be protected from right now. Your protection is fully intact. Your protection is fully intact. Have no fear and give yourself a little bit of grace if you do feel a little bit afraid. You can be fine. You're going to be fine. Okay. If you feel fear, don't try and force yourself not to feel fear. Instead, acknowledge that you feel that fear and then see why you're afraid. Whatever you're afraid is usually indicative of what you're somewhat deficient in. Meaning, if you're afraid maybe of not being protected, you need to work on your awareness of how to protect yourself, how to defend yourself. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry. Michael goes, tell them. I feel, relax. Okay? Relax. Here, I have another date set for the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop. This is where I'm going to teach you how to harness your energy, protect yourself, maintain your field. Anyone can learn this. And no, this is not information that you can Google online unless someone is violating my copyright. Intellectual property laws are not to be violated. That's a federal crime, motherfuckers. Okay, but so I'm having that workshop, right? And there's no prerequisites for that because guess what? It is part of your birthright to be able to harness your own energy for your own benefit and wellness. And my face is starting to get stank. Why? Because too many people in the spiritual field, the spiritual communities, they try and make it seem like you're the biggest bitch if you do anything that's healthy and beneficial for you. Why? You're not a fucking martyr. You're not here to martyr yourself. And I get bitter about that because I fucking did that to myself intentionally. I chose that. No one could force me into that. I chose that. I ended up chatting with my girlfriend that I messaged yesterday after like years of having no contact. And it was fascinating because I remember at one point she went through some DV type stuff. It was really intense. And I went ahead and I launched a campaign to raise some money to give her so that she could take her then baby and get a safe place where, she can begin her process of healing. And I know she remembers that, and I haven't talked to her in quite a few years. She doesn't really know what's been going on with my life. And she asked me, are you still on your RV adventure? And I was like, oh, when I was homeless. And she's like, homeless? And I was like, oh yeah. No, I was living in a Walmart parking lot. I was homeless. I was stuck in the RV. The RV broke down. And she was like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'm so sorry that I was unaware. And I was like, you wouldn't have been aware because I went out of my way to conceal my experience, not out of shame, but because I didn't want to be a burden and I didn't want pity. That's the truth. I wasn't ashamed. I just didn't want people to feel bad because it's like, I know I'm not going to be here any longer than it takes for me to learn whatever the circumstance is teaching me. So to me, it wasn't a sad or bad circumstance. It was definitely inconvenient, but it wasn't bad. And for those of you who've heard me talk about that period in my life, I maintain that it's one of the most beautiful, one of the most peaceful periods in the entire history of my family. Like, God, it was so beautiful. Not because I was trying to convince myself it was beautiful, but because I've never felt so free and so safe and hidden in plain sight, given all the space in the world to simply unfurl my feathers and stretch out my wings and embrace myself for the first time. It's beautiful. Technically, I was homeless. She didn't know. And then she asked a couple more questions, trying to catch up. And I don't know how we got on the topic, but I was like, yeah, no, I was fucking so stupid. I gave everything away. I was earning a livable income while I was homeless. I was earning it through the work I was doing on social media, but I would consistently give it all away because I was deep into my martyrdom. No one forced me to do that. I convinced myself the ways in which I received the very commonly shared information and assumptions in spiritual circles, spiritual communities. I convinced myself that meant that unless I martyred myself, gave everything away, ensuring that I would be stuck in a parking lot longer. And I was homeless for nearly 3 years. Yeah. When I commit to some shit, I tell you, I commit to some shit, yo. It's not a big deal. It was beautiful. It truly was. No one forced me, though. Just like no one can force you to stay in a space of martyrdom. You keep what is necessary for you, what is needed, what your soul gives you. The crumbling of the old world requires the crumbling of the programs that keep you stuck in spaces and types of existence where you convince yourself you are a bad person for having needs, for voicing those needs. You are not bad. Okay. This is hard. This is hard. My heart kind of just my heart just kind of spoke to me about a need that was expressed to me by someone in our community. And I feel it deeply. It took a lot for this individual to speak on a very extreme need that's happening. They're facing eviction. And they told me the amount that they were needing to halt the eviction. I personally am unable to help with that amount because I was sick for a month, a little over a month, and I did not work at all. So I'm not in a position to overextend myself. And I understand that. And that really makes me feel badly. So what's being placed on my heart right now is to ask our community, I think it would be inappropriate for me to ask our community to come up with the amount for the full eviction to be halted. What's being brought to me is to ask our community if we can come up with anything to kind of facilitate this impending homelessness that they're about to experience. Let me log in to I'm going to log into the church and I'm going to create a link. Hold on. I got to ask my husband for the code. I'm going to create a link and maybe we can come together and the code. What am I writing? Oh my gosh. Just so that they can maybe get some groceries or whatever it is that will help tide them over. I think my husband's driving. Oh my gosh, I'm going to absolutely disrupt his day. Hold on one second, guys. Hello? Hey, can I get the code? Give me 1 second, guys. Huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Bye. Alrighty. Oh, I have anxiety. I had originally told them that I'm very, very sorry. I'm not able to help because I wanted to help them on my own and not bring it to our community. But it's this sense of okay. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna put a link. Okay. I just had to make sure I had that right. So I'm gonna put a link on the screen for QR codes. On TikTok, I'm gonna have to put this via my Hubi link. And the link to donate okay. I don't want to give their identity because I didn't ask them in advance and I want to protect their privacy. So let me load it onto my Hubi. And this is someone who has been part of the community for quite a few years at this point. What? Sorry. Okay. Oh, I need an image. I don't have an image. Okay. Where? Oh, here. Oh, what image? What does this look like? Okay, I'm just picking some random image from my laptop. Okay. And we're going to save that. There we go. So it is on my Hubi at the very top. That's a lot of frequency. Whoever is yelling in this space, I'm punching in the throat if you don't be quiet. That's a lot. That's really loud. Don't be screaming in my ear that way. So it's at the very top of the Hubi link for those who are on TikTok. Okay. And I'll have this link open for like 3 or 4 days. And whatever amount you guys are able to give to help, I'm going to give all of it to the person. Save your receipts if you're in the United States. This is being run through our church. It's a full-blown donation. It can count as a donation for your they already checked, and in their state, there's no services that can prevent them from entering into a state of homelessness. For those of you that know me, you already know that I just cannot help getting so upset when I know people are going through hardship. This old world can't disappear fast enough for my taste. Because these are struggles that people should not be experiencing. I have a very clear, very keen awareness that not everyone will experience their bout with homelessness in the beautiful, peaceful way that I did. And it's very upsetting. Very, very, very upsetting. It doesn't matter who it is, where you live, what country you're from. There are certain things that are a human right. Food, shelter, healthcare, and safety. We should not have to fight and beg and suffer for what we are entitled to by virtue of our existence. This is part of the old cycle. This is part of the old world. That world needs to crumble. It needs to crumble faster. And you guys might not understand why I can take that stance, because the faster it happens, the more traumatic and the less we will hold on and cling to the old way. When you're given a choice to do it slowly, you drag out your suffering. Allow it to happen fast. And then give us excess of courage and dedication to rebuild quickly, rebuild in a fortified way that fully supports unified diversity, where not only a single type a single group, a single region receives the full benefits of what's happening. This is for everyone. It has to be for everyone. It has to be the totality of peace and healing for everyone, or I don't want it. And we all have to get on that same level of mindset where all of us deserve this. All of us deserve this. One more time. All of us deserve this. We do. We deserve this. We deserve to be healthy. We deserve to feel safe. We deserve to exist in such a way where for all of our children, if not for us, at least starting with our children, that it's been so long since anyone has had illness or hunger that they don't even really know what that means. That they don't quite understand what it means to be sick or to go to bed hungry or to starve. We all deserve that, especially our children, especially the children. The system that we're in, the old world that we're in, it is something that comes from an upside down fallen patriarchy. This distorted view of what a true masculine is. Masculine and feminine coexist. They were intended to coexist harmoniously, allowing one to step into the position of primary when appropriate for that one, and then to step back, exist harmoniously as equals, and the other to step forward when it's appropriate. All of the programs that are being run right now are fallen, dark angelic programs. The dark angelics, the fallen angelics, yes, they're still angelics, absolutely. But they are fallen from their grace. They are removed from their connection to divinity because God was punishing them? No, because they chose to separate themselves from the everlasting totality. This is why they feed off others. They wholeheartedly believe that they are removed from divinity. And because they are removed from divinity, they are no longer being sustained by divinity. So they must feed out of fear of depletion. That's why I stopped calling them demonic a long time ago. And I began referring to them as parasitic, because a parasite does what it believes it needs to do to survive. A tapeworm is not evil. It's disgusting as fuck, but it is not evil. Why? Because a tapeworm feeds on the host because there's no other way for it to continue its life cycle. It doesn't think, I'm going to ruin your life and your health. I'm going to enter your body. I'm going to infect and infest you. No, it's just like it enters and it does what it does. No thoughts, no intentional malignancy. It just does what it does in order to survive. We are being gifted the crumbling of the old world to finally exit out of this space of merely surviving. We're being gifted the opportunity to enter into a space of thriving. It's time to thrive. I couldn't thrive until I allowed the old world, my old personal world, to fully crumble. I lost everything. Even a sense of who I am and what I'm here for. I had to. I had to lose myself because what I identified as myself was actually a caricature intended to mask the true gravity of my authentic self. Did the crumbling of my personal world destroy me? When I didn't understand what was happening, it absolutely felt like it. But because I have the gift of hindsight, and I don't have a fear of looking back at the details of my life, I see, no, I wasn't being destroyed at all. At all, at all. I was being intentionally deconstructed in order to be rebuilt in a more fortified manner, in a manner where my design at its core is aligned with my purpose. It's a beautiful thing when you can see how loved you actually are. That's a very powerful thing to begin grasping the reality that all these instances where you thought, you assumed, you felt like you were being destroyed, you in actuality were being simply deconstructed. But you were afraid. Then you fought it and you dragged it out and you complicated it and all of these other things, the compounding of fear and struggle. It's okay. That's part of your process. It's not you being dumb. I don't think any of us are dumb at all. I think we have the level of intelligence that is necessary for whatever we were custom created to fulfill. None being more superior or more worthy of love, protection, respect than anyone else. We're on equal footing. On the side of a mountain, we're all clinging to the side. Some of us just make it look easier than others. But it's the same mountainside. And no, your placement on the mountain does not dictate your value. Not at all. Instead, your placement on the mountain serves as a gift for others if you let them see where you're at. Why? Because then it encourages and inspires them to realize and accept, oh, this is a possible thing to do. The climb is not impossible. I just have to make sure that I understand what it is I'm doing, that I'm present as I'm doing it. You're custom created for the life you're living. There's nothing that needs to be pushed away, permanently destroyed, locked away about you, including the parts of you that are the most embarrassing for you. Would you believe one of the most embarrassing things for me for most of my life? Not so much anymore. Well, it depends. If I go a little too hardcore, it kind of makes me feel a little bit embarrassed because it's like, girl, did you really have to go that hard? And it's like, no, not really. One of the most embarrassing things for me for most of my life was how powerful and formidable I am. It embarrassed me. There's nothing I wanted more to be, like the other girls, the damsels. I wanted to be seen as a damsel as well because I somehow confused it and thought that to be a damsel and extremely disempowered is to be the epitome of feminine. It sounds crazy, right? Because I have this personality, and I've had this personality my entire life, where I can absolutely be docile and I could be demure and quiet and, but if I see you being disrespectful to me or to someone else, I'll fucking cut you with my words. And if that's not enough, I'm absolutely capable of actual physical aggression if you push me too far. That I don't like. I don't step into that space very often. It's probably been less than 5 times my entire life. Yeah. So, should I be ashamed that I have a fearlessness about me? I remember last year I was at the gym and there was this guy. He must have been like, I don't know, 6'4", and he looked like he was maybe 260, 275, maybe even 280 pounds. And he clearly was on roids. He got a roid gut. He looked pregnant. Uh, it looked like he could do some damage if he had a tantrum. And I shared this with my YouTube community. He tried to start shit with my husband. My husband's fully capable. My husband's not a small guy. He is not a small guy. And I had just finished leg pressing, and I was standing there and I had my music real loud. And then I hear like commotion on the other side of the gym. And I look and I'm like, holy shit, that's where I just saw my husband before I started the leg press. I'm always aware of the general location of where my husband is in the gym. I'm obsessed with him. I am. So I'm always aware of his general location. I remember that's where he was. And I know this guy had been trying to start shit with me and my husband for quite a few days. In actuality, he'd been trying to start shit with everybody in that gym for quite a few weeks. Right? Soon as I realized and I pulled my earbud, I heard it was my husband. Hell fucking no. I took off running. I am not a big person. Look at my spindly ass arms. I am not a big person. Okay. Most people, and I mean about 90 something percent of the world, is going to be bigger than me. I'm full size Asian though. I took off running. I went straight to my husband. Like, what the fuck? Oh, people don't know. I had a box cutter. I don't know what I was planning to do, but I was like, you're not going to fuck with my husband. Zero fear. And I ended up standing in between my husband and that guy. And that guy, he kind of quieted down thinking I was going to call my husband. And instead, I stood in front of my husband facing him. And I was like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from California. Yo, Oakland. I'm from the fucking hood. Don't. Okay. When you see me rolling my neck like this from side to side, we about to fucking throw bows, baby. Yeah. And he thought that I came to calm the situation down. No, the fuck I didn't. No, the fuck I did not. I came as backup. I know my husband can handle himself. I came as backup. Spiritual Prototype says, oh yeah, Oakland Ghetto ASF. I mean, Fruitvale. I'm from the hood. Yeah. Fruitvale. Saying, boo. We fight. No. So yeah, I used to be ashamed that I have no fear. And I didn't even realize that this is something that other people receive in some way, because after that whole circumstance was done, the workers at the gym, they came and they tried to de-escalate, and I wasn't trying to de-escalate nothing. I How was it? I was like, you better take your roid rage ass over there because you will get fucked up over here. Yeah, no. So they tried to de-escalate that situation. Me and my husband went back to where I was working out. And one of the other people at the gym was like, oh, you're ballsy. I was like, well, don't be fucking with my husband. I don't do that for everybody, but don't be fucking with my husband. I'm a ride or die for real. And she was like, your husband? Who's your husband? I was like, the dude that was about to get in a fight. She goes, oh. She's like, you're really small, but you're so ballsy. I was like, I got big balls. And she goes, you do? Mm-hmm. She's like, I saw your little body run. I didn't even know what was happening. I just saw you take off running. Yeah. I'm no longer ashamed of being fearless in the face of a Goliath. Do I start shit? No, that's not how I am. I don't like conflict. If I can abstain from conflict or confrontation, I absolutely will. But if I need to match that energy to let you know, motherfucker, I'm not a stereotypical Asian. There's nothing passive or docile here. This Asian was marinated in the salt waters. And I'm salty as fuck if you trigger me. I will showcase that energy if need be. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed. There was this guy at the gym today, different gym. And I don't know what he was trying to say, but I was ignoring him. I really don't know what he was trying to say. And then he kept asking if I needed some equipment by me. And I knew that's not what he was trying to do because he wasn't really working out. Like, don't play with me. So I was like, no, you can use it, Magellan. I'm Filipina. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm Filipina. I'm Filipina. And in the history of Filipinos, Magellan was this European who tried to come and conquer our islands. And he was unalived, baby boo, because my people said, nah, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. He thought he was coming to some docile people. But that's not what happened. Look it up. Magellan, Philippines, Lapu-Lapu. I was like, you could take that, Magellan. I don't think he understood what I said. I don't give a shit. That was funny to me. And I just kept right on working out. Mm-hmm. Look at all these Magellans trying to conquer the Philippines. No. Don't make me get my yo-yo out and use it as a weapon. It's said that the yo-yo's origins the yo-yo's origins are as a weapon in the Philippines. Okay, let me focus. Be like, I got a fucking yo-yo in my fanny pack. Yeah, I work out with a fanny pack. It's fucking ridiculous. I do, and I'm not even ashamed. I wear a fanny pack. What? I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing back the fanny pack. Anyways, guidance. You're not going to get a lot of guidance through this. You're going to have to just kind of go through the motions yourself. Okay. You're going to have to allow all these things to kind of just, show themselves to you and then choose the options that you believe, and feel strongly are the best option for you. Stop prioritizing the preferences of people who are not in alignment with where you're going. Quite a few people who are still clinging to the old world that is crumbling. They're not going to give you permission. But here's the most powerful part. You never needed their permission. You just let them think you did. you did there. Fucking with their egos. Fucking with their egos. But you got to stop playing with their egos because it's messing up your journey. Okay? Sometimes I will do that. If someone is excessive in their foolery, especially when they're trying to focus it on me, I'll let them think that I'm docile. I'll let them think that they have some say in my life, only to snatch it away like the cold-hearted Capricorn moon that I have. It fucking cracks me up sometimes. But that has to be a special case because I really don't want to waste time on people like that. So whatever needs to end is going to end. And it's the old world. For some of you, these old connections that you have with people in your life, it's already being phased out. You know this, you can feel it. For others of you, what seems like connections that are being phased out are actually being allowed to be transitioned into a new dynamic. So don't be scared. The things that are being phased out, you'll have time to grieve it. That was said really cold-hearted. For the things that are being phased out, these are things that have been needing to end. They've been needing to end, but you've just been afraid to let it go. It's like I have all of my orchids died. All of my orchids died over the last several months, and I haven't gotten rid of the orchids. I just keep them in their orchid pots. Why? Because I don't want to let them go. I don't want to let them go. I don't know why. I know they're dead. They're not going to miraculously come back to life. They're not just dormant. They're legit dead. I need to let them go. It's like that. It's just taking up space. What is it going to do? Keeping my orchids, my dead orchids at that? Nothing. But here's the thing. If someone was to gift, is my husband on this live stream? I don't know. He's on this. If someone was to gift me some orchids, I'm saying, then I would have no need to keep the dead ones. Right? Okay. I have 3 pots. This has space for 3 new orchids. They can be the struggling orchids that are on clearance, and I'll bring them back to life. I'm just saying. If one of you wants to reach out to my husband and let him know, respectfully, let him know, I think your wife needs some orchids. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be offended. Okay. So I've had new orchids to put in the pots of the old orchids. Then I would have no choice but to let go of the dead ones, right? Right. So whatever it is that you're needing to let go of, it's like my dead orchids. You're going to be, receiving new orchids. You're going to be receiving something living, something viable, right? A living energy. You're going to be receiving that. Whoa, for some of you, that's a baby. Holy shit. Some of you, your old world is going to crumble because you're pregnant, boo. Keep your ass away from me. Oh, hell no. I don't even want to breathe the same air as you. Because they come in 3s. One of you is pregnant and don't know it. Oh, no, ma'am. Absolutely not, ma'am. Keep your juju to yourself. Ooh, no. No. No means no. I didn't stutter. I have enough kids. I'm pushing 50. Leave me the fuck alone. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Ooh, no. All my children are half alien. I almost die for every pregnancy. I don't think so. I'm not playing with y'all. No. Summer, upside down. I think for some of you, no. For all of us. Oh, God. For all of us, shit's gonna pop off. Can I just say, and you guys need to keep tabs of what I say because oh, Dick just joined the chat. I see all y'all locking your kitties, and Dick just joined the chat. Oh, shit's gonna pop off on TikTok. Anyways, hello, Dick. If you could please face a different way than my direction. No, sir. No, sir. Okay, anyways, seriously. Keep track of this because I'm definitely not going to remember. Based on the different alignments that I was looking at, because I was looking at maps for quite a bit this morning, seeing the different events. Another event, I believe, I'm speculating, is going to pop off in Texas. What area of Texas? Let me look at a Texas map. Like Houston area, near Houston. 1 second. So, hold on. It would be somewhere between the Woodlands and Austin. So it's slightly higher than Houston. Let me see. Ooh, kind of close to College Station. If you're in Texas, just, kind of be careful. I believe, oh, what is this? What is this? Schulenburg, High Hill. It's in this area of Texas. No, stop it. So somewhere between Austin and the Woodlands. Woodlands is north of Houston. So it's kind of like from the center, go towards the East Coast, the East State line. So between the center and the state line, it shares with Louisiana, north of Woodlands, north of Houston. So it's in that area here. Let me show you guys on this. Hold on. So this is probably better if I show it you guys this way. Map of Tejas. So Grange. It's like Grange area. Let me get it on the screen. I don't know if it's gonna wait, what? No, thank you. I don't know if it's gonna be weather or I don't know what it's gonna be. So here's Austin, here's Houston. It's gonna be in this area right here. That's the general area that I'm being given. Higher, like Temple. This area of Texas be huge AF. To get from this part of Texas to Austin takes like almost 24 fucking hours driving. Lord, I will never drive through Tejas again. I'll go fly. But this area, so, okay, let's say no further north than Waco, no further west than Georgetown, Cedar Park area, no further east than Houston, no further south than whatever this is, no further south than San Antonio. It's this area right here that I was given. I don't know what's going to happen. Y'all be safe in Texas, okay? So, wait, what? March 14th has a lot of stuff going on, and it's a blood moon. Purim rituals. Okay, I will have to look that up later. A lot of people were hung during Purim. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know about the condo happening. Don't freak me out while I'm live. um, well, people on YouTube are talking about March 14th time. I don't know the time frame. It's something that is approaching. It would be something that's aligned with certain types of maybe planetary alignment. Maybe it's lined up with, and I'm not trying to bash pagans. It's important we have to begin differentiating between paganism and full blown, like, malignant groups that happen to practice paganism. Okay. Those are extreme people. Cosmic map to your true, playful, laughing self. When feeling disheartened, stop and watch a child at play. So, oh, Super Bowl is in NOLA. Super Bowl is in a few weeks. Yeah. Damn. I don't know. It's a lot of information. So, when feeling disheartened, stop and watch a child at play. We need to return back to our childlike state. We need to allow ourselves to have some fun, see life in a pure, childlike manner, very innocent, see it from a different perspective as we go through this. And that will help with fear. That will help with a lot of fear. There is an ancient that lives in NOLA. The path of the intellect can yield a long life, but it's in reverse. The intellect during this period can only get you so far. Right now, you need to allow the intellect, the logic, to be tempered by intuition, divine guidance. And then you also need to allow your divine guidance and intuition to be tempered by very stable, solid logic, creating a balance, right? The life force within us is the same power that created the universe. So something is trying to enter your space, and it's not the thing that created you. It's something that's trying to feed from you. Don't allow it. It's very simple. Don't allow it. I still need to make a video showing you guys. Ooh, like a brow lift. No, that would be too much. That would look unnatural. Anyways, I still need to make a video to show you guys how to completely protect yourself from the attempts at pushing witchcraft into your home and your field. I need to make a video for that on TikTok. I don't know if I'll be able to post it on YouTube. Death is only a door. Choose a door leading to the light. Ooh, this is telling me that we actually can choose the door to the light and the door to the shadow, that the shadow will not harm you if you're ready to see yourself. If you're not ready to see your power, if you're not ready to see who you are, how far you've come, how untouchable, unfuckwithable, and immortal you are, don't choose the shadow door, because you're gonna, yeah. You're going to go through a dark night of the soul, and it's going to be something very, very challenging. It's going to be something that is very difficult to navigate, and it's going to compound your experience. It will work for you in the end. It will. But as you're going through it, and then you're seeing all the other things that are happening, then it becomes kind of excessive. It becomes excessive. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to seek help from others. And if for some of you it becomes excessive, then, just make sure that you go to the people you trust. For those of you who feel like you have no one, here's the thing. We have this beautiful community, right? And this community that we're in is something that can help to support you as you're going through the things you're going through. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to make friends and besties with everyone, but you have access to all of my recorded live streams on YouTube. You can rewatch those. And when you rewatch the videos that you're drawn to, regardless of when it was broadcast, it gives you a very clear guidance from soul, because your soul is the one that's going to show you exactly where you need to go, right? So go where you need to go, receive the messages you need to receive, and continue moving forward. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. Something is trying, well, it might be the event that I'm picking up on. Something is going to try and feed off of hatred. It says replace hatred through learning and wisdom. It's going to try and incite pure, unbridled rage. I assume whatever will happen, if something is allowed to happen, I think the Super Bowl is going to be a precursor for this event. So if the Super Bowl is the precursor, it's priming, right? Then the actual event will probably be maybe in March time. I'm not sure. End of February, March time. If they're trying to incite hatred, then we can pretty much guarantee, knowing how these covert groups run, we can pretty much guarantee there's going to be a lot of racial baiting. There's going to be a lot of division trying to be pressure injected into our communities and also our online communities by way of race-based conflict. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Okay? Do not allow in any way, shape, or form. If we see something like this happening, we need to make sure that we soothe each other, because some people will be extremely triggered. And something in my heart tells me rightfully so, that like understandably so, they're going to be very triggered. It's the job of us who are very aware to say to those who are not able to control their response, breathe. Breathe. Let's take a moment to validate how you're feeling because of what we are seeing. But even in validating how you are feeling, let us not lose sight of the fact that we are literally in this together. That there is only one race, and that is the human race. And we all have our differences, just like we all have similarities with each other. Right? So it's up to us who are receiving this message in advance to help calm each other down. Not saying don't be mad, but just you're right to be mad, but let's calm down. Let's use this anger as purified fuel to push forward beyond the reach of these very questionable, covert groups that continue to try and separate and divide us, right? It's very important to have these types of conversations, that we're not saying, don't worry. Like, no, you're feeling the way you're feeling. And it's not that your feelings are invalid, because they're very valid. It's that we need to do something productive with that. Fuel is a very, anger is a very powerful fuel. And when that fuel ripens into righteous rage, my God, the inferno. The inferno. But here's the thing. If you allow something else to simply powder keg you, massive explosion, inferno, everything's destroyed. If you take a moment to recalibrate, fixate that on a specific objective that's beneficial for all, you go from a powder keg to what? To what? To a fucking torch. You can make precise cuts. You can do precise work depending on the type of torch you're using. We need to start using our righteous rage as a fucking torch. Most torches, when placed in the hands of the skillful, are used to build, create, fortify, connect, right? We need to become living torches. Allow your sacred flame to be so focused that it becomes an unstoppable torch. We need to stop giving our power to the people who want to treat us as living nukes, like we can nuke each other. I don't fucking think so. You will not use me to attack my brother or sister in Christ consciousness. I don't care what region they're from. I don't care how much we disagree on certain things. We still have very real similarities, very real similar needs. A need for peace, a need for unification and healing. You will not weaponize me against my own human family. We need to have that logic at this point. The old world is crumbling and the space for wisdom is being created. Wisdom. Wisdom. What is wisdom? Knowledge applied, knowledge in action. We've all been through things in the last several years. We have all been through so much in the last several years. Varying degrees of intensity, yes. But still so much. So much. It's time for us to begin looking back at our experiences over the last few years, looking at our most struggle-filled periods, and allowing ourselves to sift through what we perceive to be the wreckage. Sift through it. See what components are necessary now to build yourself taller than the blockage that's been placed in front of you. It's hard to block your way when you continue building yourself in such a way that invalidates the block that's meant to cripple you. Knowledge applied is wisdom. We're stepping into that divine wisdom, right? Sophia is the mother energy, the matriarch energy. Step into that matriarchal energy of creation, sustenance, nurturing, healing, and also very powerful protection. For the most part in real life, I'm a very chill person. You would think that I'm one of the type of people who you would never see mad, like in real life. If you didn't know me online, you would think that. I tend to be very just even keeled with everyone. I get along with pretty much everyone. Like, you have to be some level of what the fuck for me to give you attitude. And that carries through every aspect of my life until you force me into a space of seeing I need to step into my matriarchy role. And if you make me feel like I need to intentionally be a matriarch, you've ever seen the matriarch of a family of elephants? What happens when she thinks you're threatening anyone in her family group? She'll go on a fucking rampage. She will go on a full-blown rampage. She will uproot trees. She will trample. She will overturn your vehicle. Pain means nothing when it comes to a matriarch. She will put herself between her family, that which she loves, and the very thing that is making her feel her family is being threatened. I think for quite a few of us, we're stepping into that space of realizing we, in fact, are matriarchs, natural born matriarchs. The matriarch will still allow the children to explore. They will allow the children and the others, the other adults, the freedom to do what they do as long as they are safe, right? So for some of you, your matriarchy codes are going active. The matriarchy codes make you formidable. But don't start shit. Be careful. The being that was released is a spouse to Lilith. She is also a matriarch, a fallen matriarch, but still a matriarch. She will facilitate what her spouse is here to do. She will facilitate it. What does that mean? So if you're stepping into your matriarchy energy, what ends up happening is she's probably going to try and access you. She's probably going to try and bring conflict into your life, trying to really get you to exercise some inappropriate corrections. A type of inappropriate correction would be something that violates a person's sovereignty and is unnecessary and is extremely heavy-handed for what's actually being corrected. Right? For example, and this is an extreme example, someone pushed a member of your family and they lost their balance and they fell on their butt. No bruises, no nothing, no marks on them, but it was definitely rude and that definitely needs to be corrected. So heavy-handed correction, you go and break their arm that they used to push your family member. That's highly inappropriate. That is highly inappropriate. Okay. Like that, ma'am, sir, ma'am, too much, far too much. Okay. And some people be like, no, they need to learn. Right. But that's too much because then the lesson isn't learned. Instead, the trauma is all they receive. And then they solidify aggression is an acceptable form of interaction. And that's not what we were trying to do. Right? That's not correction. That's full-blown retaliation. Retaliation is completely inappropriate. Correction, right? Generosity. So when you find your tribe, when you find your people, when you find the group that is going to really help facilitate your growth as the old world crumbles, because we're being polarized in such a way that we are attracting to us the very groups of people that will help us navigate this period. It could be strictly online, it could be in person. We don't know, right? We don't know. So you're going to be attracting to you the people or groups of people that will help you navigate this period. You might feel awkward, you might feel some fear. That's completely understandable, but don't allow what is understandable to be what dictates whether or not you will allow the support to come forward, right? Patterns in reverse. So a lot of these upside down patterns, it's going to be initiated by Lilith. For those of us who Lilith has been fixated on, you're probably part of the various groups of souls that are here to facilitate, to help others really push things forward by simply existing, by being supportive, being present in someone's journey, holding a space that belongs to them, and letting them know, you don't have to ask me for permission for this space. I'm just simply holding it for you, and when you're ready to claim your space once again, I take a step back and I simply coexist beside you, right? That's a very healthy type of facilitation. Assurance. For many of us who are going to be heavily fixated on by Lilith, we are simply helping to assure someone's growth with our presence. Right? Because look, she's growing stuff. Yeah. Lilith irritates the shit out of me sometimes, most times. Romantic love, it's in reverse. These groups of people that will be drawn to you, or the person that will be drawn to you to help facilitate things, get romance out of your head. First and foremost, what needs to happen is your interactions need to stabilize both of you. This is a mutually beneficial thing. You are going to do for them as much as they are going to do for you. It is a mutually beneficial thing. So get romance out of the picture so that way you don't get things distorted. I think Lilith, for some, will try and pressure inject that romance topic and like, oh, twin flames, divine union, and stop. You're going to convolute it. You're going to get it all tainted with that tainted teaching regarding twin flames. Twin flames are coworkers. They're coworkers. Their divine union is about the power pack providing the energetic burst, the energetic payload that the navigator will use in a very, very intentional, divine manner. It's not about fornication. It's not about romance. It's about celestial mission objectives that are needing to be completed, learning cycles that are needing to be completed, and miasma that's needing to be dissolved and reintegrated so it can be completed. This is the lifetime where all of us are being gifted the opportunity to fully level out all of that karmic ledger board. Miasma is what karma is. People think karma is punishment, like, oh, they're going to get their karma. Okay, but karma is not punishment. It doesn't carry a positive or negative charge. Karma is received as negative by people who don't want to learn what needs to be learned. It's like a kid needing to learn fractions, but fractions is challenging to them. So now they feel like they're being punished. And because they're not fully paying attention, because now they're triggered and they're upset and they're frustrated, the lesson seems so much harder than what it actually is. Karma is simply miasma. Miasma is frozen light code. Frozen light code is a paused lesson. So you're being brought back as the old world crumbles. You're going to see that a lot of the people who, you're magnetizing and drawing to you, who are being magnetized towards you, they are people who you have some type of karmic load with that needs to be finished off. I'm not talking about karmic relationships, because I know the layman's definition of a karmic relationship is like an intense romantic pairing with someone and you think you're going to be together forever, and then now you realize they're the most toxic motherfucking person you ever come across. Holy fucking shit. It's not that. There are some people who are going to have malicious intention towards you. If you use your discernment, you can just like, no, thank you, block that off, and then continue forward. Okay. Is addiction a form of karma? No, addiction is a highly negative, harmful form of coping. Addiction is an outward expression of a person being devoid of any depth of connection. That's what an addiction is. Yeah. So if there's not at least one person who you can bond with, either from childhood or your young adulthood or something, you'll find ways to cope. And oftentimes, avoidance is something that people will utilize. That avoidance then becomes a thing of wanting to numb your feeling of emptiness. No one has a dream of being an addict. They don't. People are like, Emmy, how can you be so kind and compassionate to addicts? They wreck lives and, they hurt the ones they love the most. You think they have fun doing that? I'm not enabling them. I'm just saying, do you think they have fun? You think they enjoy that? That the person they love the most sees them in the way they're seen. No one has a dream of becoming an addict. But many of us, the most highly empathic, the type of suffering that is endured, the fear that is experienced, when there's not a single tether that keeps you connected to this life experience. I don't know what that feels like. And I don't ever want to know. I don't ever want to know. So yeah, I absolutely have room in my heart for those who struggle with addiction. I will not enable your coping mechanism, but I won't villainize you either. I see you for the person you are, behind the pain and the coping. I see you exactly as you are, and I will not tolerate what you've forced others to tolerate. And I can have this expectation because I will never condemn you the way others have. I've worked with a lot of addicts. I've helped them with their sobriety. I've helped them with rapid detox. I've helped them regain clarity on the truth of their value. And if an addict can work through that, if they can commit, they usually end up becoming a tremendous gift to others. Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous gift. Tremendous. The amount of learning and that pain that they endure, usually alone. Tremendous learning. The depth of wisdom. And if we're so quick as societies to throw them away because they're broken, because they're liars, you'll never receive the gift that they will willingly give you once they've had the opportunity to heal. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult for families who don't know what's happening and all they're doing is receiving the difficult experiences that come with that person's coping mechanism. It's a hard thing. Everyone hurts in that type of circumstance. Everyone. So consciousness is light, lantern. You're serving as a light in the darkness for many of you. Part of the reason why you're being placed in such a dark space within yourself in your journey is because you've allowed yourself to become depleted. You probably didn't know that you were doing that, but you've gotten depleted to the point where what was once a bonfire is now dimly glowing embers. In order for you to remember that you, in fact, are the fire, you have to be placed in a dark space, because I remember dry camping. I've dry camped quite a few times in my life. Primitive camp, where you're literally just out in the wilderness. No running water, no toilets, no nothing. You're out in the wilderness, right? And it's a thing of being in pitch black darkness at night, and the campfire's almost out, and you just see the glowing embers. And what I loved doing was adding more wood and fanning it for a few seconds and seeing the flames erupt from the embers and consume the newly placed fuel. Sometimes you got to place yourself or be placed in a dark space to remember just how bright you actually are, your true capacity. Strength of vulnerability, true power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. And when you think you're weak in the darkness, your soul will place you in the darkest of spaces to give you the opportunity to understand how powerful you are. I've done this over and over and over in my life, being placed in such a dark space. And before, I used to think I was being punished, until I realized I was being reminded. Because I stay in that dark space until I choose to get out of it. And every time I choose to get out of it, it's a reminder that I'm actually in control of where I exist and how I exist there. The crumbling of the old world is opening you to the different potentialities that have already lived in you. You are not being asked to become a different version of yourself or to be someone else. You are being tasked to shed the fake characters and caricatures that you have played, to appease the people in your environment, and to simply exist naked in your truth. This is your task. It's not being asked of you. You are tasked. You cannot say no. That violates my sovereign free will. Actually, it doesn't, because your soul chose this. And sovereign free will only applies to the soul. Humans do not have sovereign free will. We have human free will, which means if your soul says you have to experience something, you don't get to say, no, I won't. You do get to say, I will experience this in the easiest, most flowing way possible, or I will drag it out, make it difficult, and destroy myself along the way. That's where your free will comes in. But you don't have sovereign free will. Your soul does. So your soul is dictating what you must accomplish. Forgiveness, hurt blocks our light. So, y'all, in order for you to take the first steps and release your hold on this crumbling world, you need to forgive yourself for all the ways in which you thought you didn't show up, when in reality you never belonged in the environment you were forcing yourself in. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? You're forcing yourself to stay in an environment that you don't belong in. And now, because soul and life keep trying to pull you away, you're like, I didn't show up. I wasn't present. But you never even belonged there. So Right? Okay. False beliefs. Once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they confine us to. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly, it's just a fancier way of wording what I just said. These false beliefs that are taught to us by other people. Is it because other people taught it to us? Those people who taught it to us hate us and they're wicked and no, not at all. Not at all. They just don't know what we're here to do. For example, my entire life, or younger life, I was groomed to be in the medical field. I was groomed by my family and my relatives to be a medical professional. And my options were either becoming a registered nurse or what I ended up deciding for myself at a young age. I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon with a secondary specialty in neurosurgery, and also an ER doctor. Because I'm fucking weird. You know, I can never just do something. I got to do everything. Yeah. So I was told this quite a bit through my formative years. I was exposed to tremendous amounts of medical literature. I wasn't forced. My mother was an RN. And so she did her continuing education as part of the requirement to keep her license, her nursing license active. And she would give me access to all of the medical literature that she would receive from these workshops, or she would bring me with her. Sometimes it would be a week-long workshop, and I would go with her. I would miss school and go with her. Yeah. So what's so wrong about that? Well, when I didn't continue with my medical education so that I could enter into the medical program, there's a lot of shame in that. There's a lot of disappointment because I went to a bougie high school with the expectation that the investment in my high school education would bring to fruition me being a high level licensed medical professional. And in that, I would have a very lucrative career and I could take care of my parents and pay for everything. It's part of my culture. Before you villainize my parents, that is absolutely a part of the Filipino culture, a very common part. And it's not necessarily a toxic expectation. It can be, but on the flip side of things, with Filipinos, it is the parent's job to provide for the child, paying for college education. It's not uncommon for Filipino parents to help purchase their adult child's first home, or for a Filipino adult to continue living with their parents well into their adulthood, 30s, 40s, whatever, right? So there's a balance to it. It can become toxic, but it depends on the family. There was a lot of expectation placed on my shoulders, and some would say that's very unfair. Except it added to the richness of the purpose I'm living right now. They have no idea what I was supposed to do. They've known I've been weird as fuck my whole life. I've been an intense kid. I've been a highly precocious child. Very, very difficult for a parent who's expecting a neurotypical child to actually parent. They had no idea what I was supposed to be. They just knew that I'm extremely fucking intelligent, highly medically inclined, and I wasted it. But did I? Did I? They didn't want to see the reality of what they brought into this world. That's the old world that had to crumble with them. Not only am I a medical intuitive, I have a very specific skill set that I was born with, that I simply needed the space and the time to cultivate and embrace. My mom knew. She knew. She knew I wasn't just psychic. She knew that I wasn't just prophetic. Like, I have prophetic dreams at times. I don't like them. She knew that I knew things. And she knew that if I knew something, given the appropriate stimulus, that I could do things that she couldn't explain. But she knew. She knew she was supposed to die that August 2016. She knew it. And she also knew I brought her back. And I corrected her cranial bleed and her heart attacks and the other strokes. And I protected her neurological function, which she kept. She knew. She wouldn't say it, but she knew. Just like when I came back years later, I had to disappear for several years, as though I never existed, in order to create the amount of profound space that was necessary to come into my own and embrace who I am. And when I came back, she wasn't so afraid of me. I remember specifically, they thought her left leg was completely paralyzed. From one of her strokes after I had left. And there was no way to reach out to me, no forwarding address, no phone number. I was a transient for about 3 years. I was transient. Oh my goodness. There was absolutely no way to find me. And so when I came back and her leg was paralyzed and she was bedridden, I began working with her. And I said I wouldn't violate her sovereignty, that she would need to be the one to decide how much she is to heal or how much she's wanting to continue to suffer, that it was all on her decision, but I will support whatever she decides. So she decided she wanted to leave the state with me. Proper motivation is a really good tool. She knew I couldn't stay. She wanted to leave the state with me. And I told her she needed to regain specific functions, right? For one, she needed to be able to bend her hips and her knees at a 90-degree angle to fit in an airplane seat. That was painful. The amount of adhesions that had to be torn as I did rehab on her every day. And then I found another motivation. She was so pissed at me because I was just so jovial every single time. I just really relished taking care of her and having the opportunity to heal our relationship at the end portion of her life. She got better, so much better. At one point, I was laughing because she was like trying to cuss me out. I was doing some rehab stuff with her, increasing her range of motion in her hip and her knee. She was cussing me out, and I started laughing because my mom doesn't use bad words. She was using bad American words. Yeah, so I was cracking up. And she said to me that she was going to kick me in the face. She's so mad. And I was working on her leg that was paralyzed. And I told her, I'll let you kick me in the face, but you got to use this leg. And she looked at me and I was like, I'll let you kick my face. And I put it real close to my face. And in that, her brain began reconnecting with her leg, her paralyzed leg. She began building the neurological connections to control that leg. So for a week, I would taunt her, kick me in the face, laughing. She's so mad. So mad, right? Kick me in the face. Do it. She'd be so mad at me. And every single time she would like, she wants to. And then I think it was like towards the end of that week, her physical therapist came and she was assessing my mom. And she was at her paralyzed leg, the physical therapist. And she looks at my mom and she looks at me and she looks back at my mom and she goes, your leg, your muscle is firing up. I can feel it. Your muscle is waking up in your paralyzed leg. And my mom simply looked at me. And I looked at her with a smile. And my mom says to her, my daughter is a healer. And her eyes got teary because she felt so proud. And the physical therapist mentioned how she noticed the tremendous amount of improvement since I've taken over my mother's care. I came back and my mom was on hospice. Weighing something like 83, 84 pounds. Just waiting to die. And she regained about 20 pounds. She was able to sit up. She was able to get out of bed and be placed on a couch. She was able to bend her knees, flex her ankles. We corrected her drop foot. She was regaining function in her paralyzed leg. And I think she finally understood. That nothing I did was ever wasted. And that she had no idea of what my actual purpose is. But she was finally understanding. Another layer of healing is being offered to my heart. The day my mother died, my mother was obsessed with being a bugaboo with me, called me all hours of the day for no reason. Sometimes she would FaceTime just to stare at me before she hangs up. And the day that she died, she had a cardiac event early in the morning. She didn't die until evening. But at no point did she ask to call me. At no point did she request for me to be FaceTimed. I think because she had already decided to leave. And she knew I would beg her, and I would have. I would beg her to stay, and she wouldn't be able to say no, and that I actually had the ability to repair what needed to be repaired, to make it possible for her to stay longer. Life is so beautiful. And sometimes in that beauty, you feel a depth of pain that makes you just feel hollow inside. I used to think the hollowness was evidence of how delusional I am and how wrong I am about my understanding of me, my purpose, and life. And as I've grown through adversity and pain, I realize that feeling of emptiness is a reminder of the promise that you are about to be refilled, renewed, and rejuvenated. But you got to empty the vessel first. Empty it fully so whatever toxic dredges are left, or dregs are left, it doesn't pollute the new thing that's being offered. Trusting tricksters. A trickster's only power is your trust. You're always free to withdraw it. There will be tricksters who will try and convolute your understanding. They will try and corrupt your awareness. They will try and derail your progression. Do not trust them. As a matter of fact, do not trust anyone or anything that hasn't first gone out of its way for a prolonged period to earn your trust. Your trust must be earned. Card number 38, repair. Making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. Our relationship with divinity is being repaired. Part of that process of repairing requires the crumbling of the old. They need to rip the seams, unfortunately. They need to rip the seams so that it can be properly washed and properly reconstructed. Reconstructed in such a way that it's actually fortified. We're going to get through this process. We're going to get through it beautifully. And as we get through it, as we're deep in the motions, you're probably going to realize just how much adversity this will take. This is the type of growth and change that we don't willingly allow. This is the type of growth and change that only adversity can inspire us to choose. Let's start choosing what's best for all, not just for a select few. Let's stop participating and complying with things that only benefit a select few. The old world is crumbling. It's necessary to make room for the right world to exist. It's not the new, it's the right, the correct world, one where peace is a priority. And we have entitlements by virtue of our existence, where we no longer have to worry about food, shelter, health, and safety. We can make that happen. I don't know how yet. I don't know how yet. We can make that happen. And if you think we can't, yeah, you're not familiar with my journey then. You're not familiar with me and my history. I am a highly introverted, extremely socially awkward recluse. It's true. I have no problem not leaving the house for several months at a time. I'm a legit recluse. I have anxiety publicly speaking, yet here I am. I lived my entire life in fear of my gifts, hiding it. Yet here I am. We can accomplish tremendous things that we thought were impossible. So let's do it. Let's do it. A couple of reminders, guys. For those who have the ability to, $1, $2, $5, whatever is possible. We have a community member who reached out. This is a person who's been in our community for quite a few years. They've never been drama, and they're facing homelessness. They're being evicted. The eviction amount was over $1,500, and I know all of us are going through something. I don't feel right asking the community to try and raise $1,500, but I do feel pressed on my heart the need to ask our community to see what we can come up with to kind of help with groceries as they try and figure out the next part of their journey. I don't feel like it's our community's calling to halt the actual eviction. I don't know why. But I do feel like we can come together as a community, make sure they have a couple $100 to $300, whatever, to have groceries so they don't have to worry about food while they try and find out where they can stay. Hopefully they have family they can stay with, somewhere safe. They did let me know that they've explored all the different programs that are available in their area before ever reaching out to me. And there is nothing in their area that makes it possible for them to receive some type of aid. So, they are doing their part. They have lost their job. They've been sick with the thing everyone's been sick with. So it's a lot. It's a lot. If there's anything that you can spare, again, $1, $2, whatever it is, everything goes to them. This link is for the church's payment processor. Whatever you give, it's classified as a donation. If you are in the United States, we are an official church recognized by the federal government. Okay? I'm not just saying it's a church. We are literally a faith-based nonprofit organization. You keep your receipt. You claim that as a donation. It's a tax deduction for United States tax. Okay. Keep all those receipts. If you give, keep all those receipts. For those who are on TikTok, you can't click on the QR code and there's no link that's commented. Just go to my link in my bio on TikTok, click on that, and you'll see at the very top the link to go ahead and donate if you are able to and if you are drawn to it. I don't want anyone to feel guilted into giving and putting themselves in detriment. That is going to make me feel worse. Okay? That's going to make me feel worse. But if you're able to, I'm going to leave this link open for about 3 or 4 days. When it's no longer open, you won't be able to access the link. It's not going to take you anywhere. So for about 3 or 4 days, whatever our community can come up with, all of it's going to be given to this person. And then, hopefully it will help them, I don't know, get a hotel room or at the very least food. I know everyone's going through a lot. Also, I'm going to be going live tomorrow for the 111 portal. I'm going to be having a fire ceremony. If you'd like me to work on you or do a reading, a scan, there's a whole bunch of different expedites available. Click on this link or the QR code. For those on TikTok, you can find that link in my bio once again. Also, I have another date open for the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop. This is going to be, I think, in February, or it might be in March. If you click on the link, you'll be able to see exactly when the date is. I'll give you all the information. If you'd like to learn how I work energy so that you can work on yourself and get yourself situated, protected, your chakras nice and healthy, click on this QR code or the link in the comment. It'll take you to the information on the workshop and how you can sign up. This has limited seating. It is a virtual workshop and it's profound. It's a 4-hour workshop, 2-hour lecture, lunch break, and then 2-hour clinical. I help you to learn the fundamental techniques that will empower you to handle whatever circumstance you're dealing with in your life. Okay? So guys, I love you. I do. Our community is an awesome, awesome, awesome community. And I feel very proud. I'm very humbled to be part of it. I do. It means a lot that you guys share space with me every time I'm live, the ways in which you guys support me. Just the way you guys are as a community, period, the way we support each other. I love you guys so much. And I'm so proud of who we are as a group. And I hope that you being here helps you to further heal and further step into your actual purpose, just like your presence encourages and inspires me to do for myself. So I'll see you guys again very soon. I'll be live tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the fire ceremony, probably earlier in the morning as well. We'll see. But I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, everyone.